Hello, this is Antora from Impact Magazine, and today I am joined by a seasoned marketer who is reshaping the way mutual fund sector is connecting with their investors today. So please welcome Mr. Abhik Sanyal, the head of marketing of DSP Mutual Funds. Welcome Abhik, thank you for being on Impact Magazine.
Thanks for having me.
So my first question would be about the No More Outdoor campaign. So tell us about it. What was the insight, any consumer insight or research data that led you to this?
Yeah. So this campaign speaks to investor truths. We did not want to come up with a gimmicky campaign because the market is sort of indicating a specific kind of behavior that investors are exhibiting. Largely speaking, behaviors have been the same. People tend to react short term, people tend to react to stuff emotionally. They tend to give up very quickly, especially newer investors that have come into the market recently. They tend to react more emotionally than more seasoned investors. So this specific campaign was, in fact, round 2 of another campaign that we were running called I Will Not Stop, which we started in the earlier part of 2025. And the idea is to talk to you emotionally, but talk to you very straight, give you emotional truths about investing, which help you think rationally. So what that means is that I'm digging into behaviors that everybody is exhibiting, but it's rooted in the reality of how we've all invested. So a lot of it is personal. When we discuss, the mistakes that we've made while investing historically, no matter how seasoned you are, you've gone through that whole experience of having made mistakes and then realizing at some point in time. The difference is that people who are relatively younger and have just come into the investing world, they've not faced absolute calamity and mayhem in the market. And you tend to learn or at least invest in the idea of learning far more when something has gone wrong. So that's one of the things that we've had the benefit of learning from. We faced the COVID crisis, we faced the global financial crisis. Some of us are old enough to have remembered what happened during the dot-com bust as well back in the early 2000s. And immediately after that is when people exhibit a little bit of maturity and they start learning. Younger people haven't gone through these experiences, and therefore it's very important for them to learn second-hand from our experiences, because second-hand learning is cheaper, it's faster. So could we communicate to them about things that we are all aware of that we've done wrong, but could we have presented it far more straighter than a long-winded way of making engaging, attractive, noisy campaigns? That's where No More and I Will Not Stop took birth from.
Okay, so as you said, it's more targeted towards the young audience. So right now, something like a larger than life campaign or a vibrant campaign is something the Gen Z audience or the millennials are looking into. So how did you think this thing, which is very simple and it has a minimal creative direction, how will this stand out to them?
There are multiple choices as a marketer that you decide to, right? Either you appeal to the masses and you give them something that they'll be entertained by, or you contribute to noise. And when you contribute to noise, it's very, very difficult to grab attention from people. And we're realizing that going against the instinct is perhaps going to give us more attention. And, silence sometimes speaks much louder than noise. So we decided, let's be clear about what we want to communicate. Let's not sort of sugarcoat the communication that we are creating. Let's not hide it with a lot of imagery. Let's not hide it with a lot of long-winded, noisy, attractive elements in the ad. Let's stick very clearly to what needs to be communicated and go straight at it. And hence the idea of minimalism came in. This is also not something that we've just discovered. DSP has been known for communicating more minimally than a lot of other finance brands. And every kind of communication has its own merit. This is just something that appeals to our audiences a little bit more. It's become a more distinctive style for DSPL, and we feel that the more rational the communication, the more style of rationality you require to exhibit in your communication as well. If I'm hiding rationality behind a lot of other elements, sometimes it can get lost. And because this came from absolute investor truths, we've stuck to the way we've communicated, which is sticking to minimalism and simplicity.
Got it. So how has this performed? Like any kind of recent numbers or any data that you can share to show success?
I can throw a lot of vanity metrics to you, the website traffic that's come to us, the number of people that are coming and sort of spending time on our website, but the real impact of these kind of campaigns is very long-term in nature. Because think of it, right? If I show you an ad telling you to not do what you've been doing all the time, you're not going to suddenly change your behavior tomorrow. So this is a more long-term campaign. There are going to be many more elements of this campaign, many more ways of communicating what we're trying to communicate that's going to be launched in the next coming years as well. And therefore, I don't want to limit the measurement of this campaign from the perspective of just the metrics that we're able to receive. I mean, think of it this way. For a marketer, all the metrics are directly correlated to the amount of money that you spend behind it, right? So that's one style of communicating, which I don't want to get into. What I'd rather communicate is a lot of people wrote back to us, and we saw this on social media. People were taking pictures of the ads that we created both from out of home and print, and sharing that with us, saying, "This is me." The bigger success for us was that we were able to resonate with a lot of regular people. They may not even be investors, right? Our I will not stop campaign, for example, we were surprised at the number of people who gave us photographs of the print ad that they saw, and we communicated in local languages, we communicated in English, we communicated in across the entire country, and people from across the country posted screenshots on LinkedIn saying that, you know what, this is something that's a manifesto for just life, not just investing. So when you communicate with heartfelt truth, it ends up giving you a lot more ROI in the long term than looking at short-term metrics. And yeah, my business will require numbers in terms of successes, so I'll sort of communicate the business numbers to them. But from an impact perspective, it's going to be more long-term. If behavioral shifts can happen, if people can continue investing for a longer period of time, if people actually change their behavior and run their SIPs for much longer than they're running right now, if people don't exit from the market, if people invest the right way, exhibit the right behaviors, that's going to be the longer success that we're going to be looking at. And I don't have any numbers for that right now, but that's the goal that we have.
Okay. And the documentary that was released last week, The Immortals. So what was the thought behind it? What did you wanted to convey through it to the investors?
It's a fast-paced world. All of us are constantly targeted on social media. There's a lot of aggressive marketing campaigns that everybody runs. There's a lot of reels. There's influencers all around you, and everybody is creating a lot of noise. What do we really want from life? We all have ambitions in life. We all want to make money, but sometimes we forget that living a richer life is more important than just being rich and getting rich. Where does this come from? This comes from going anti whatever else is happening right now, because we tell people investing is about long-termism. Values are what will help you build a better life. Sure, I can take a shortcut today and get an immediate success out of it, but is that sustainable? Is that going to help you live a better life? Is that going to help you invest better? So we said that what is a method of communication that can go against what the traditional method of communication is, which is I can create a 30-second ad, I can create a 5-minute short film, and we're doing that also. But there's a vast space of slowness that we're probably not targeting, and that resonates perfectly with the idea of long-termism when it comes to living life, when it comes to taking longer-term decisions, when it comes to talking about values that are going to help you build better portfolios for that matter. But without talking about money, without talking about DSP, without talking about investor education or behavioral ideologies, we said that instead of saying, let's listen to people. So we said that let's look at people who've lived very rich lives, let's look at people who've survived a very long period of time, and let's ask them for advice on what has helped them live better lives, build better lives, and what do they value. And if we could listen to them, pay some attention to them, it'll probably make for relatable content. And it came from just honest truths. When we sit down in our teams and discuss, what are the kind of projects that we can work on, somebody from the team suggested that, what, we've got older people in our households that we don't listen to. Like when I was younger, I did not listen to my parents. But now that I'm of an age where I could potentially have a child, and a lot of people in the team have children as well, we're realizing that children inherently will start rebelling at some point in time, which means that you're stopping to listen to who can give you good advice. And equally, when you look at grandfathers or grandparents or great-grandparents, there is so much that they can talk about, but sometimes we don't pay attention to them. So that let's look at their lens of living life. Let's look at people who survive for a very long period of time, and therefore this, I won't call it a campaign, it's just one single documentary. But it covers the lives of, those who were in their 90s, those who were born in the middle of 2 world wars. These are people who were born before India saw independence. So just imagine the perspective that they would have had, right? So this was very little to do with marketing. This was very little to do with DSP. This was to do with uncovering a story and different perspectives from people across India. And therefore, we believe that we've ended up crafting something really powerful, really meaningful. It's meant for slow watching. It's not meant for those people who are likely to just skip past a 30-second ad, or those who are seeking constant, adrenaline, because this is not going to give you a rush. It's going to give you a lesson, and it takes time. So I invite everybody who likes documentary films, everybody who wants to become better at living their lives or building a better life, to come and watch the documentary and give us feedback on what they believe. If people like this kind of content, we'll probably invest in this a lot more.
Okay. So is there any plan to promote it apart from the documentary, of course? Any plan to promote it digitally or through OH, the documentary?
we will see how consumption patterns look at. I mean, how consumption patterns appear as far as results are concerned. Initially, the feedback that we're getting is overwhelmingly positive. We've not promoted the film yet. I don't think a documentary feature of 40 minutes can be promoted, and because we'll get the views that we want, like that'll happen. But what we're really looking for is, does it resonate with people? Do people actually watch 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of a documentary feature? Are they going to come back to it and complete it? Because there's a lot of content out there. There are probably more podcasters that exist today than viewers, right? So if I have to create content that's going to resonate with you, I also have to be aware of the patterns that consumers are coming back to. So I watched multiple podcasts of 1.5, 2 hours long as well, but I've split it over 5 days, 6 days, and watched 20 minutes of it today, and 10 minutes of it while I'm driving, or stuff like that. So we'll only know over a period of time whether this is something that's working with people. But the feedback that we've got is overwhelmingly positive. We did a screening internally, right? We invited a few people, and people walked away with tears. People came and congratulated us for doing work that nobody else is doing right now. So from that sense, anecdotally, it seems like it's the right space, but YouTube is a very different world than getting people in a closed room and exposing a film of 40 minutes to them. So let's get some organic feedback. Let's get your viewers to see the documentary and then come back to us with something, and we'll know whether this is working, whether this is something that we want to invest more in. And if it works, we believe that it should work. If it works, we're going to create more documentaries as well.
Okay. So right now, we are living in a digital age. So how has your media mix changed in the last 2 to 3 years? So which medium do you more invest in? OOH, CTV, traditional, or digital? Which one you invest more in, if you can share some percentage?
So I'll just correct something that you mentioned. I personally don't believe we're living in a digital age. We're just living in an age of low attention spans. Right now, whether I do digital, how many ads are you paying attention to digitally also? Very likely to skip the ads that you're skipping on newspapers as well. You're skipping radio ads as well. Everything is on demand. While I'm driving home, I am unlikely or less likely to see out of home, ads as probably I was doing a decade ago, 2 decades ago. So from that perspective, what I'm really fighting is not the medium on which the consumer is present, but the consumer's behavioral pattern itself, right? So my media decisions, DSP's media decisions, are based on the reality of what the consumer is doing right now. So they have sort of evolved over the last decade, maybe the last 15 years or so. Obviously, in the early ages, there was far more traditional, then digital took center seat. And sometimes we get caught up in this trap. And I know you guys are primarily digital, so I don't want to diss the digital space, but the reality is that sometimes the availability of a lot of data, the availability of a lot of metrics make us believe that we're doing the right thing, right? So it's time for us also to sort of relook, and I think a lot of marketers are doing it today. They are like, why are some of the biggest brands in the world still going back to traditional media and advertising and putting out their communication over there? So our mix also represents that transition. We have been digital friendly for a few years. Last couple of years, we've gone back to traditional a lot more. We are present on out of home. Out of home has been a medium of choice for us for many, many years. Yeah. And digital sort of follows where consumers are going. And if we get good feedback from out of home, we'll do more out of home. If we get more feedback from print, and we got great feedback from print this time. And print is not something that we've been present on maybe for a decade. We'd likely to repeat that a little bit more. So, consumer choices are sort of determining what we're going to do with our media choices as well.
Okay. Something I have observed, correct me if I'm wrong. So, DSP doesn't indulge in influencer marketing or celebrity marketing that much. So, is there a specific reason behind that?
Yes. Regulations don't allow you to do a lot of, influencer marketing the way some of the other consumer-friendly brands might be communicating. So that's the first very obvious one to look at. The second is authenticity, right? If somebody reaches out to us and saying that, I've been investing with you, or I like the communication that you've created, or like the content that you've created, and can I talk about this, and can we get into a partnership? I'm more open to that than telling them, please consume my content, like it, and then talk about it. So in today's world, people value authenticity and trust a lot more than paid partnerships. As honestly as I tell them that this is a paid collab or whatever, right? So if I had to work with an influencer, I would rather work with somebody who has a loyal following, who is authentic, whose audience appreciates what they're putting out, and they're not somebody who's just doing endorsement after endorsement after endorsement. I would rather work with somebody who has the power and the credibility to look at me and say that, what, I don't want to talk about your brand. And there are fewer people like that today. So would I like to work with influencers? We're not close to that model, but you have to see what's the right framework of working with influencers. And think of it this way. My most important influencer is my customer today. If my customer has a great experience, they're going to talk about it. If they're talking about it, there's no better influencer than an actual consumer of my product who's had a good experience with me. The guys who are recommending my product, the mutual fund distribution community, they're the most important influencers, because without them, we are nobodies, right? So if they're going to talk about a product like a manufacturer, like DSP is putting out in the market, that's going to convert into sales as well, right? I don't want just talkability for the sake of talkability. Like, my marketing campaigns are really meaningless unless they convert into some sort of brand love, unless they convert into some sort of business outcomes, or at the very least, operationally, they tell us, they give us insights on how do we become better at whatever it is that we are doing. So yeah, influencer marketing is much wider than what we call it in today's world. And to an extent, whether we talk about media, whether we talk about publications like Impact, and then obviously the traditional influencer channels the way they've appeared today, we will engage with them. And we'll sort of evolve as times go, and then we'll see what fits our purpose, and then we'll follow that.
Got it. So right now, how does your annual marketing spend roughly look like based on brand building and performance marketing versus investor education?
We've realized chasing acquisitions and conversions are not the right thing to do as far as communication is concerned, because inevitably, marketers who just chasing conversions, and in our world, right, this could be very different for different business lines. What are people driven by today? Think of it this way, right? If I ask you to invest in a mutual fund, what are you going to ask me next? The overwhelming answer that we get is, which fund of yours should I invest in? Uska performance kitna hai? Last 1 year mein kitna performance aaya tha? 3 years mein performance kitna aaya tha? Most of our aggregation partners, digital partners who are selling products also, they list products in a certain way, right? So what is happening is that you are ending up reacting to what people are behaving like, and therefore your choice architecture is getting determined by what investors are finding the easiest to take decisions based on. So maybe we've got to make our decisions based on, how do I build credibility first? How do I build trust? I'm a manufacturer at the end of the day. DSP is a manufacturer of products. DSP is not an advisor, right? So we cannot sit and have conversations with thousands of people and have customized, personalized conversations. Like, if I had to sit down and have a risk appetite conversation with you, it's probably going to last for hours. Now, at scale, does a marketing team sitting in an AMC do it the right way? Very unlikely. So what do we focus on? We therefore focus on building credibility for the brand and trust for the brand. We focus on building positioning. We focus on building what people are going to like about us, which is going to help them sustain in the long term, than just making them take an action today. Like, we often ask this question that, no matter what CTI I put on an out-of-home ad or a print ad or a digital ad, very few people actually do it. Like, just think of it this way, right? Of all the ads that you would have seen this way, how many ads did you actually click and give a lead on or call back or do anything? It's extremely rare. It does not happen, right? So I have to catch you at the intersection of what is meaningful to you, what you should be doing, what's right for you, and have I caught you in the right frame of mind when you actually want to do that. That's extremely rare. So our budgets therefore reflect the state of mind in which we are in right now. So if I had to give you a number, I won't, but I tell you that we probably focus on brand and credibility and positioning a lot more than just performance marketing and acquisitions. It's a very long answer to a short question, but that's what it is.
Yeah. So with the rise of AI and MarTech, how do you envision hyper-personalized nudges or communication for your consumers or investors?
It is extremely important for us to utilize the weapon that AI is with a lot of responsibility. So the easy thing to say is that I want to hyper-personalize communication, I want to make things relevant, but the fact of the matter is, as a manufacturer, I have to be conscious of what information of yours do I genuinely have. Like, I know, for example, how you've invested with DSP, how you've behaved with us in the past. I know what actions you exhibit when you visit my app, or when you come into my office for that matter, or how you experience my website, what kind of products you browse. But that's always going to be a very small percentage of the rest of the decisions that you take when it comes to money. Not just in mutual funds, right? But in terms of money, think of all the relations that you have. You have a bank account, you might have an insurance policy. A lot of people are trading in the stock market and getting into FNOs. And my God help them. There are people who are getting into cryptocurrencies as well. And then in the world of mutual funds. So in the vast amount of information of yours that is available to the whole world, I have a very small fraction of that information. So we have to be very conscious of the insights that we create, because it is going to be crafted and drafted on a very small percentage of information that's probably visible of yours. So one, we've got to be thoughtful. Two, it is extremely important for us to get more insights and use that responsibility, exercise that responsibility with a lot of caution, because we can very easily utilize that to also make you take wrong decisions. Right? So like with any good development, like with any good invention that comes in the market, you can use it for evil and you can use it for good. So I look at it this way: that really determines, your what is your purpose. So we look at, I mean, DSP looks at why we exist, almost to say that as a manufacturer, my first job is to build products that are going to help you invest better and, give you the access and give you the ability to invest in things that you believe are going to do well, right? Now, you may not believe, for example, technology as a sector is an important sector for you to invest in. You may believe that pharma is a space I want to invest in. Or you may say that I don't have any belief like that, I want to just invest in India at a larger level. How do I know this? Unless I have a one-on-one conversation, which is genuinely what my mutual fund distribution community and my advisor community can do at a larger level, because they have access to all of your information. So I have to look at the developments that happen in the behavior tech space very cautiously. I have to show you insights that are going to help you make better decisions. So the next thing that I can do after developing the products as the manufacturer that I can put on the shelf and make you, invest or not invest, is to guide you in terms of frameworks that can help you make better investment decisions in the first place. So what's going to help you invest for longer? What's going to help you think of things like asset allocation? What's going to help you recognize the benefit of things like diversification? Make you realize that opportunistic investing is a strategy. There are different tactics that get employed, and at the end of the day, investing can be very simple as long as you stick to the basics. When you do things that you don't understand, it can be super complicated as well, right? So our responsibility as a asset management firm is not just to create products, but also to guide you, create an architecture of choices, create an architecture of decision making, which can help you take better decisions for yourself, make fewer decisions. So sometimes AI can be mistaken to say that I'm going to solve all your problems. I'm not going to be able to solve all your problems. I will be able to solve the problems that you have identified. Sometimes I'll be able to make you think of things that you probably may not have thought of earlier, right? Based on your behavior, for example, of how do you behave when markets go down, right? So it's about access to information. It's about making it transparently visible to you. It's a solid weapon if utilized well. We have done a lot of work in that space. We continue to do that even today, and we're cautious about how that technology will be used in the future as well.
And is AI used for creative sections, for maybe campaign creations?
We are using AI in almost every single domain of our business today.
Okay.
So yes, even in terms of thinking of ideas, in terms of thinking of what directions do we go into, how are consumers behaving. The first draft of anything that you could think of, which you could sort of outsource to agencies in the past, or you would think, and the AI has really quickened the pace of that first draft of either the strategy or the communication or the direction in which you can go. So yeah, absolutely, we're taking full advantage of that, and I'm actually very proud of saying that, because a lot of people say ये तो AI से लिखा हुआ है, right? And it seems like it is something that people are contesting today. Like whether you read comments on social media or you read even stuff that people are writing on Reddit today, a lot of well-drafted answers or well-drafted points or posts that people are putting up on social media, other people are coming and writing comments and dissing, not just with DSP, like with everybody saying ये तो AI से लिखा हुआ है. So like, so does it do this job? Is it doing the right thing? Is it expressing things the right way? Is it not misleading you? Is it responsible? As long as all of these things are taken care of, absolutely, please use AI. We're using a ton of it and we're loving it.
Also, based on your research,
Yeah.
how different are the young first-time investors are behaving as compared to the older investors, like who are in their 40s or 50s, and like how are they behaving in risk appetite or information sources, and what is your tone of discussion or tone of getting to them?
What we're realizing is authenticity is valued by the younger audience way more than it ever did in the past, right? They can cut through, they can see through if somebody is trying to sort of game them, right? They have a lot of access to information. So they're naturally very, very intelligent bunch of people. In their investing decisions also, their risk appetite is getting to a high risk space very early in life as compared to probably what we were doing back in the mid 2000s. But ego is also very high, right? Because access to information is high, and all of this is determined by what the markets are giving them at this point in time. So till the time the markets give them unending returns, like what's happened in the last few years, your pride keeps on increasing. You tend to attribute great outcomes to your own decisions and bad outcomes to the market or to somebody else, right? when the market falls happen, that is the first time you look back at your decisions and say that what could I have done differently? Was I doing it wrong? Was I just getting carried away by past performance, for example? Was I just carried away by ego? Was I just getting carried away by FOMO? Some influencer said something, I saw something on social media, some CEO recommended something to me. I mean, I'm using all of these because this is genesis of our campaigns as well. Because it's so honest, it's so real. This is exactly the way people are making decisions today. Like I follow a lot of comments that come on social media, what people are writing on Reddit, and all people are doing is taking decisions and then seeking validation rather than recognizing the need to say that, you know what, I don't know enough about investing. I probably need an expert to talk to me.
Yeah.
So with the advent of direct plans, it has given rise to convenience, yes, it has given rise to access and a lower cost method of investing, but it has also given rise to bad investing practices because sometimes you need a guiding hand, you need a mentor. You don't want to accept it that you need it because sometimes your own ego is coming in the way of saying that, you know what, maybe I need to stop and listen to somebody who knows about this a little bit more than I do. You want quick actions, you want quick outcomes, but you don't want to invest in the time that it takes. So with the younger audience, my only outlook towards them in terms of how we talk to them is value the fact that they require authenticity, give them the importance that they need from the perspective of what is going to matter to them. See, they are the victim of the doom scrolling methodology that's come into the picture, right? So earlier I used to find the battle of the mind share. I have to now fight the battle of the thumb share because everybody's just scrolling past whatever you're trying to communicate. So yes, I have to talk to them in the language that matters to them, but I have to pay attention to the fact that they are intelligent. They are very consumerist in their behaviors. They have very high aspirations. Everybody's thinking that how do I make a lot of money? So it's great for the mutual fund industry because people are looking at how do I invest a lot more. The awareness for investing, the awareness for mutual funds is coming in at a much earlier age. The entire ecosystem is changing. The government is doing enough. Local bodies, school systems are doing. I know the school boards are thinking about introducing concepts of money much earlier. Yeah. It's going to take some time to do this. As long as we don't appeal to the greed in them, as manufacturers or as people who build campaigns from the marketing world, I have to be conscious of not just appealing to the greed. Otherwise, I'll be talking to the lowest common denominator and saying that, here's the fastest performing fund, please invest in this. So I have to give you the ability to think clearly in terms of frameworks so that your decisions last, your ability to run your portfolios the right way is for the long term and not short term. And that I don't think matters so much whether I'm talking to a younger person or a more older person. With older people, what ends up happening is that their choices are slightly more built into their ecosystem, so you need to show them the mirror a little bit differently. With younger people, you need to be a little bit more attractive, but you still need to be authentic, you still need to be intelligent, and they're paying attention as long as we speak to them the right way.
So looking ahead, what kind of investor mindset shift are you, would you like to see in the future, and how do you want DSP to be positioned in their journey?
The very basics. Do the right thing, take fewer decisions, act rationally, don't behave emotionally, don't get carried away by either extreme positives, don't become absolutely despondent when things go wrong, because when things go wrong, there are also opportunities in the market. Right? Every time somebody is selling, somebody is buying. Those who are buying at the right times are making higher returns, but eventually it is your behavior that's going to determine how you're going to earn long-term outcomes. You get eventually what you deserve from the market, right? In the long term, short-term bets will not play out every single time. Like nobody gets it right. The biggest investors, the most intelligent people, the people who've made it, to the rich list of the world, they've not gotten there by chance. They've gotten there by design. They've got there by thinking. They've sort of eliminated all the stuff that could take them in the wrong direction and focus on the stuff that could help them in the right ways. So we see DSP's role as being the guide who can objectively and authentically tell you the truth without trying to gamify you, without trying to get you to take actions that only benefit me in the short term or come and give me a lead. No, that's not something that's going to help me in the long run. If you're not going to behave the right way, I'm not going to earn the right results, right? In the long term, what do we want? We want people who are investing in our funds. We want people who stay for longer. We want people who exhibit the right behaviors. So the role of DSP is to sort of be the coach, give you the nudges at the right time, tell you the stuff that you could be doing right, or you could be doing better, tell you the stuff that has come in the way of you earning returns that you could have earned, maybe lost opportunities. And if you can utilize AI, if you can utilize technology, if you can utilize the information that we have and show that to you in a more personalized manner, and use some of those learnings in terms of even drafting communication so that we recognize at large what is moving India, right? And what's going to happen in the next 5 years is going to be very different from what is going to matter today. But the basics of investing is always going to be right. You have to buy at lows, you have to sell at highs. And for that, you have to be in the game for a very long period of time. So as long as those basics are sorted, our role is only going to be to keep on repeating those basics in interesting ways so that it matters to the younger audience, the more experienced audience, people in bigger markets, people in smaller markets across the board.
Okay. And if we solely focus on marketing for the coming year 2026, what will be the shift in marketing communication that you'll look at, or will there be no shift?
There will be no shift.
So you're going to
We stick to basics, we repeat relentlessly, we identify opportunities, we listen to people. Sometimes we tell people what they need to know, not what they want to hear. So some of our recent campaigns, I Will Not Stop, No More, some of the films that we've released, some of the print ads that we've released are simply coming from, you need to hear this. You need to know that you need to earn the right to go direct. You can't just invest directly and just hope that because it's lower cost, it's going to be better for me. I mean, sure, if you're going to invest your energy in learning everything to do with investing, you can invest directly, but you need to stop and understand that there is a mutual fund distribution community, there's an advisor community. It's their full-time job to understand you, recommend things that matter to you, recommend things that can help you earn, good outcomes in the future. But these are basics, right? So basics don't change year on year. So the method of communication of the campaign pegs that we utilize to appeal to different audiences might change over the years. The media choices may change, but fundamentally the marketing strategy will remain the same. Create value for people, deliver value relentlessly, listen to them, don't just tell them what they want to hear, tell them what they need to hear, and be the voice of reason in a time when everything is about noise, everything is about chaos.
Any medium that you're going to bet big on? Like something, I believe documentaries would be something you're going to look at big in the future.
I mean, authentic brand building requires a lot of content. It will not just come from campaigns. So yeah, content, whether it's from the perspective of investment insights, and we do a lot of that, right? Like some of our monthly, quarterly publications that we create, like Netra, we have something called the annual report Nectar, we have something called the transcript, we create something on fixed income called Converse. There's so much of this content on the investment space that we've created and we released in the market, and it's really appreciated. A lot of people follow it. If it doesn't come out of the market, people write to us saying that, why has it gotten late, why hasn't it come out? It's a great sign of what people are valuing, but that's a niche audience. That's a small audience that values investment content. There's a larger audience that values entertainment, but we don't want to fall into that trap of just creating something for the sake of entertainment. So even if we create entertaining content, we have to figure out how do we subtly include messaging that is going to be relatable to you. It's going to have parallels and euphemisms about life and investing. And if you're able to sort of repeat through our content also that here are the basic values, here are the basic fundamental building blocks of good outcomes, your decision making could be a little bit better. And our only hope is that with time, as ambitions increase, as aspirations increase, your ability to take good decisions should come from inside, not just based on what campaigns are saying. So hopefully my campaigns need to be less effective because you have become more effective in the way you're exercising your options in front of you. So if that gets done, our media choices, our investments in the space of content or creative or campaign, it's all going to be determined by that.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure
you
to be
for
here.
being-